Okay, so we're going to continue in Avodah Zarah Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. We were discussing Antoninus and Rebbe, and so now we have in this part of Chvila how Antoninus, when Antoninus died, Rebbe said that the bundle is unraveled, that the bond of their souls together can no longer thrive. We have Rashi here. It says like Avhasani Havasenu Shniskashra Nefesh Benefesh. This love that we have soul for soul, and Kishachav Adarkan Amarav Nisparda Chavila. The same thing Rav said when Adarkan left this world. So we have now the story of Unclus Hager. We know the Targum Unclus. And by the way, the learning should be Lil Nishmas Avram ben Yosef Halevi, and also Lil Nishmas Rav Nachamer ben Rav Moshe, Deja Rebbe, whose family sing Shiva now this week. Unclus bar Colonimus Igayer. There's another version, is Colonicus. Colonimus it's a Jewish name. So Unclus bar Colonicus Igayer. Unclus was the nephew of the Emperor Titus of Russia. That's what the Gemara says in Gittin. Others say it was Adrianus, was Hadrian. In any event, it's also not clear if it's the same Unclus who wrote the Targum Unclus or not. Either way, whichever Unclus was the Ger. So here we have Unclus bar Colonimus, or Unclus bar Colonicus, who became a Ger. Shodar Caesar Gunda Rumay Basrai. The Caesar was very upset about this. So he sent some Roman soldiers to go kill him because of this, or to bring him back. Mashchinu bekroi. This shows the power of the Bible. Unclus dragged them with the Bible, with Scripture. Higayur. And so all the soldiers that were sent to go kill him, or to bring him back to arrest him, they all converted as well. He won converts just by quoting the Torah to them. So the Caesar sent another troop, and he told them, don't talk to him, just get him back here. So when they arrested him, they were taking him back to the Caesar. He said, let's just talk about trivial matters. We don't have to talk about religion. So he says like this. Nifyora nakat nur kame pifyora. A nifyora holds a torch in front of a pifyora. Pifyora leduksa. And a pifyora holds a torch in front of a duksa. Duksa legmona. A duksa holds in front of hegmona. With hegmona, we know hegman means some kind of an officer. Hegmona lekoima. And the hegmona holds the torch in front of the koma, which means the king. And so all of these were titles of different Roman dignitaries in ascending order of rank. So the Nifyora is the first one we mentioned, is the lowest level. And the highest is the Koma. So now, would the king hold the torch in front of the ordinary people? They said no, of course not. We know this week's Sedra that the King of Kings, God held a torch in front of the Jews, as it says that the Lord went in front of them by day in a pillar of cloud and at night by a pillar of fire to give them light. When they all heard this, they were like, this is the king we want to have, a king who serves us. We want to become Jews as well. And they converted. So first they said, don't say anything to him. Now he says, don't even discuss anything trivial. So when they were taking him, and there was a mezuzah on the door, and he went and kissed the mezuzah. This is where we have the source in Chizal for kissing the mezuzah. Amalhu mai hai. What he said? What is that? Amalei emalanat. So he asked him, "What am I doing?" And so they said, "Tell us what's going on." Amalahu. Most of the time, you have a human king. He sits inside, all protected, and he has guardian servants standing outside, guards to protect him from outside. So he says, but God is opposite. His servants are inside, and God stands outside and guards them. As it says in the Psalms, Psalm 121, verse 8, and the Lord will guard your coming and your going from now and forevermore. And the mezuzah represents that as well. That the mezuzah protects us from demons and things. Vigayer. So they also converted to Shadar Basra. So the Caesar didn't bother to send anybody else because he knew they would all convert. We see from here that this is the way that the Klal Yisrael. It doesn't say they became Bnei Noach. They became Gerim. Just a posh thing, All right. So the story of Antoninus and Rebbe was a destiny that they had that would seem for centuries, for millennia. In Genesis 25:23 we read, so it says, the Lord said to Rebecca, when she didn't know what was going on, she had the kids, and she was pregnant, and the Lord said to her, there are two nations in your womb. Rav Yehuda said, the name of Rav, don't read nations, two nations, goyim, elagayim. We should read two mighty, proud people of high stature. It's Antoninus for Rebbe, and that is a prophecy that from Esau would come Antoninus, and from Jacob would come Rabbeinu Kodesh. And what is the example of their wealth? So to demonstrate their prosperity, the sages note that both of them always had lettuce, cucumbers, and radishes on their table as much as he wanted, and it didn't matter if they were out of season. In the summer, the winter, they always had enough. The Mamar, Snain Mechatich Eichel, Chezeres Mahapich Meichel, kishus marchav me'ayin. So these vegetables were good to serve the for digestive purposes. Radishes cut the food, helps to in the digestion, and lettuce turns the food over, also helps the digestion, and cucumbers expand the intestines. So both of these great people were so wealthy that they would have these vegetables even when they're out of season. Now the Gemara in Ksubah says that Rebbe said he never had any benefit from this world, so it means that this is what he served to his guests, because he himself wasn't a big eater. Now we have an issue with this because it says that cucumbers open the intestines. But we have another, which would seem to indicate that they're healthy. However, Rishmuel, his students, the students of Rabbi Shmuel taught that cucumbers are called kishuim because they're hard, they're difficult to eat. They can hurt your body like a sword. So like Hashal Baravaveva Zutre. So it's not a contradiction. It's the big cucumbers that are unhealthy or harmful, and small cucumbers are healthy. All right, we go back to the Mishnah. The emperor's birthday and the anniversary of his death are both days that you don't do business with pagans. So it seems the Mishnah indicates that Rabbi Meir's opinion is that there was no difference whether or not there was burning of his possessions of the king, that they always worshipped idols on the yahrzeit of the king. Al Masreifa Lav Chukahi, Klal Rabbanim Savrei Sreifa Chukahi. So according to this, Reb Meir held that burning the emperor's possessions is not a religious action, a ritual, but rather it's just a secular display of honor, because no one else could use his items. Whereas others say no, it's an actual idolatrous ritual, perhaps to burn the possessions to send it over to the next world or something like that. Although by the Romans it wasn't really such an idea, but they just saw Hades or Pluto. It was the Roman name. It's the underworld. There's a difficulty with this. So rabbis hold that it is actually an idolatrous ritual, and there's a difficulty because we have a brayse that Jewish kings, they would burn their possessions, which would seem to be difficult, because why are you burning useful things? The answer is to show honor to the king, that no one else can use it. And that was a practice for Jewish kings, for their honor, and it's not considered an idolatrous ritual or a superstition or something like that. Incidentally, it says that by Saul that there was burning. A lot of people think it means that he was cremated. However, most of the rabbis say no, he wasn't cremated, but rather his possessions were burned. Now, if burning a king's items is a religious action of another religion, how could we burn the Jewish king's possessions? Because it says you shouldn't follow their rituals. It says in Leviticus 18:3. that any idolatrous ritual you're not allowed to do. So everybody agrees it's not a ritual with idolatry in mind, but it's just a secular demonstration of respect to the king. So the argument is not about the practice of burning the items. Rabbi Meir holds that whether or not they're burning the possessions of the king, the pagans are going to worship their idols because it's a holiday. Rabbis hold no. If they're burning the items, it shows that it's an important day, and that's an important day that they're going to go worship their idols. But if there's no burning of the king's possessions, so then it's not an important day. It's not the issue with the burning, but the issue is with the fact that they're burning shows that it's an important day for them. Okay. Gufa surfing al amlachim ve'ein by mishum darchi amari. Now our Brisa said, we just said in our Gemara quoted Brisa that we are allowed to burn the king's possessions, and it's not considered a pagan superstition. Zedekiah was told by Jeremiah, I'm going to be learning Tzidkiah. I'm going to actually be learning this tomorrow, the next day. That Jeremiah told King Zedekiah that he will die in peace, like the burnings for his fathers, the kings who precede him, they're going to burn his possessions. So we see it was a common practice. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay to do. So we say we also do this not only for the kings, but even for Nasi, the spiritual leader of the people, the prince, the president in the Second Temple era, the head of the Sanhedrin, usually was someone from the house of David, and they would usually burn the beds and articles that were used for the king, things, like toiletries and things like that. Private type of items, but it says that when Rabban Gamliel left this world, Unklis Hager burned 70 money from Tyre. Sorry, money Tsari. It would seem maybe he burned the coins or he burned the money. It's not so clear what he was burning or. It's not clear which Unklis this was and which Rabban Gamliel. It says Rabban Gamliel Zaken. Some say it's just a different Rabban Gamliel. For Mart Mahin Surf and Lemi Tasan Unklis Hashmishan Ema B'Shiva Manatsuri. So why was he burning money if they would burn the beds and stuff? So the Gemara answers probably that the amount of the items that were burned, the beds and the articles, the toiletries and things, was worth that much money. A lot of money. 70, 100 dinarim. Umidi, 7,000 dinarim. Umidi achrinaloi. Was there anything else that they would burn? the horses would be disabled, the horses that the king used, which also should be Zarah l'chaim, but again, because it was an honor for the king. There's other explanations what it means. And also it's not an Amorite practice, a superstition. Amar of Papa Sus Charachav Alav. So that's just a horse that the king rode on, and it's the same like a bed. It's something he sat on. Behematurloi. Sani Ikoshesh Batrefa Asav Shein Batrefa Motivezu Ikoshein Batrefa Menashe Persisa Minakuva Lamata Tigmar of Papa Begla Mesheches Bekarin. So did they only do that for horses, or did they also do it for kosher animals? We have a Bryce of Asanya Ikoshesh Batrefa Aser. If they do this ikur, that they uproot the animal, they disable in a certain way, if it causes it to become a treifa that is going to die, that's you're not allowed to do, because it's wasting it. It's a kosher animal. But if you're going to hurt the animal, but it's not going to make it a treifa, you could still eat it, then it's allowed, just for the honor of the king. But otherwise, you couldn't do such a thing, because it's Zarah l'chaim generally, but there was a reason for it. Meaning Zarah l'chaim is allowed for a reason, just like you're allowed to kill an animal to make it for a coat or something, So if you cut the tendon of the hoof from the point of the hock and below, then it doesn't make it a treifa. So again, it's talking about an animal that the king is using. Not all the animals that the king owns, but rather, for example, a cow that pulls the wagon, a calf that pulls the wagon that the king sits on. It's the same like a bed, a chair, something like that. Teglachas kanai. Now, a personal prohibition for a pagan is the day when he shaves his beard or his special lock of hair. We're on Amud Beis. We've been on for a few words now. So what are we talking about here in the Mishnah? Now, is this the day when he shaves his beard and leaves his hair long, or when he shaves his beard and he cuts his hair short to special long hair? Which day is a holiday for him? Tashma v'san desanya tarveya yom teglach skanav v'nachas blarisa v'teglachas skanav v'varis blarisa. We have brises supporting both, and probably both are prohibited. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Rav Yehuda said, name of Shmuel, Acheres yesh lam beremi. There's another Roman holiday that's not in our Mishnah. Achsel shivim shana mevim adam shalom markiva noisel adam chiger bisha noisel big day adam erishon nichan lei bereisha kakef loishal Rabbi Yishmael v'salo lei b'tzvaram maskol reishu zay debfiza mechapen as a shvalkan be'enach machrizin lefanav Sach kiri plaster, achur de marana zaifana, de chame chame, de lechame, maheni bermuse, zaifana bezaifanuse. Says they would bring every 70 years. They'd take a healthy person, represent Esau. Make him ride on the shoulders of a lame person who represents Jacob, who was lame after his fight with the angel of Esau. The upper man would be dressed in the clothing of Adam that Esau took from Nimrod. It's the clothing Adam, the first man, wore. And he would put on his head, when they killed Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, Kohen Gadol. They took his scalp, his skin, as a mask, because the Caesar's daughter thought he was so beautiful. So he placed on his head the scalp of Rabbi Shmuel. And they would hang from his neck a 200 zuz value of very fine gold. very rare gold, and they would cover the streets with all kinds of precious stones, or maybe they would cover his legs with the stones, with the other jewels, and they would say this calculation of the ruler is wrong. And Jacob said when the end times would come, the brother of our Lord is a cheat, that Jacob cheated out Esau, and if you see this today, you're not going to see it again, because it's going to be 70 years until next time. And if you don't see it, you won't see it. What does the swindler get from his swindling? And what does the cheater get from his cheating? And they say, woe to this one when the other one rises, because we say, Jacob goes up, Esau goes down, and so forth. Amar of Ashi, Shilan Pim L'Shayim Yamru, Saifana Chwid Marana, Kadamre Hashta Damre, Ramana Zaifana, Marana Gufi Zaifanahu. So if Ashi says, look, what their words could mean just the opposite. If they said the cheat is the brother of the Lord, then that would be what they mean. But they said the brother of our master is a chief, meaning that the Marana Zaifane, that the master himself, that Esau is a cheater. Sanadin on my time in the Kachashavle. Why doesn't the mission include this? The Isa b'chol shata b'shana kachashav, the Leisa b'chol shata b'shana kachashav. So the mission doesn't include this because it's not an annual event. So these were the Roman holidays. What are the Persian holidays? Mutarde utriske mudarke umuharain. Those are the names of the Persian holidays. So we mentioned the Persian and Babylonian holidays. What are the Persian and the Roman holidays? What are the Babylonian holidays? Muharakne. That was also one of the ones the Persians had. Faskine, Bachnune, Eser Badar. The 10th of Adar. These were the different ones. And the Miri says that these things don't exist anymore. We don't have to really worry about them. Amar of Chanan bar of Chista, Amar of Rav, of Chanan bar of Chista said the name of Rav. And the Miri points out there is no more idolatry today. And Christians are not idolaters, and Muslims are definitely not idolaters. Even though their worship is different, it could still be called Avodah Zarah because it's different. But it's not idolatry. Amar of Chanan barav barav Amar Rav Chanan barav said Rav Chamisha bati Avodas Kechavim Kfuin Hey. There are 5 fixed temples of idolatry. Ve'elohein. These are the base Bel Bavel, the house of Bel in Babylonia, base Nevai B'Chursi, the temple of Nebo in Kursi. Tarasa Shebamapag. Tarasa is in Mapag. Srifa Sheba Ashkelon. Srifa is in Ashkelon. That's in the land of Israel. Nisra Shebaravia, and Nishra in Arabia. Maybe that could be the Kaaba, which was an idolatrous temple before Muhammad's time. Ki Asar of Dimi Haisifu Len Yurid Shebe'ein Bechi Nidbacha Shebe'ako. Rav Dimi said that when he came from the Holy Land to Babylonia, he said there's also the fair in Bechi and Nidbach in Akko. Akko is also in Eretz Israel. Ikad Amri Nisbara Shebe'ako. Others say that the one in Akko is called Nisbara. Dimi min Arda Masni Ibcha. Rav Dimi from the Arda taught the other way. Yurid Shebe'ako Nidbacha Shebe'ein Bechi. That the fair is in Akko and the Nidbach is in Bechi. Amalei Rav Chanan bar Rav Chista Mike Fuyin Hein. Chanan bar Rav Chista said, name of Chista, what does it mean they're fixed places? Amalei Hachi Amar Vuad Imach. This is what your grandfather would say, your maternal grandfather would say. Kvin Hein Larlam Tadira Kula Shata Palchalahu. That they're fixed is that all year long the pagans worship idols there, not just on holidays. So you're never allowed to do business there. Mishnah says that something that Shmuel says, you're only not allowed to do business with a pagan for 3 days before a holiday in the Holy Land, but outside the Holy Land in the diaspora, it's only that day. Gemara asks, even on the holiday itself, are you allowed to? V'harav Yehuda Shara Rav Bruna Zmuni Chamel Rav Gidel Zmuni Chitin Bechagsa Tatayoye. Rav Yehuda let Rav Bruna sell wine to pagans, and Rav Gidel allowed to sell wheat to pagans. On the merchant festival, and so shiny Chagsa Tayeloi Kviya. The answer is the merchant festival is not a fixed holiday if they don't keep it 1 year, if they don't feel like they missed out. All right, we're going to just do the Mishnah and a little bit, and I have to go. If a city has an idol in it, you can't do business in the city, but outside the city you can. If the worship is outside the city, then inside the city you could do business. What about traveling in the city? If that's the only time people are going, then you can't do it. But if you had another road to go, then you could. What's outside the city? What are the borders of the city? Like in Gaza, there's a market outside of the city. That's an example. What's some say that Reish Lakish asked Rabbi Chanina, what's the law of the market, the Gazan market? I'm like, have you never gone to Tzur, to Tyre in your life? Where a Jew and a non-Jew would put two pots on the same stove, and the rabbis didn't care. And we're gonna have to end here. Mir Hashem will continue later. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment.